Hey there, beloved Ascension Pioneers. Welcome to another Ascension update with me, Polona. I have a lot of information to bring through today. Yesterday I was already recording out in nature, but something didn't quite add up, and I think I needed to expand more on what I was talking about, so I wasn't guided to publish that video. I wanted to also record outside today because it's beautiful and sunny, and I have a new like a deck chair, you know, in my balcony where I can really chillax. But they're sewing up some trees and it's really noisy. So I guess today will be an indoor video for all of us, which is fine as well. First of all, I want to start up with expressing what an immense feeling it was yesterday when I was sitting here talking on Skype, and I have this huge window here in the living room. And all of a sudden, there was this thunderstorm. You know, it didn't last very long, but the lightnings were deep blue and white, and twice the whole sky lit up, and I was just mesmerized looking up there. It just felt so intense, and that same moment, the spine energy, you know, the electricity was starting to run through my spine, and it just felt so intense. And all of a sudden, I started texting, you know, I started typing about this and what was coming through me. And a lot of people were responding and saying, ooh, spine activation, what is that? So without further ado, I wish to express some of the things that I feel are important for a higher understanding as we're going along this ascension journey, all of us, as in many things that are important for us right now. It's amazing because on my journey, I always go through something, through an experience or an inner knowing myself, and then maybe someone will send me a video or they'll mention something, will always come as an external confirmation after I already experience it. And I just saw someone send me this video from this woman also calling herself an ascension guide, and this was something I want to talk about today. And she was mentioning a few things that, you know, I just watched for 5 minutes. I didn't watch further because I wanted to make this my own video. I don't like to be influenced by other people's stuff. But it's something that came as a huge confirmation as what I was feeling myself and what Spirit showed me about this gateway we're now in this May with the ending of the eclipse season. So I wish to talk about this as well. Okay, I want to start out with mentioning a bit about this as I saw this woman speaking, and she was referring to herself as an ascension guide, and she was addressing the subject of gatekeepers, who they are. So I've received guidance to you know, touch the subject on this a bit. First of all, let me say this. There are two or many, or however you might wish to call this, ways that we're assisting. If you remember one of my videos, my most recent ones, when I was talking about the dream that I was having about certain souls who are power souls who are just holding the frequency of light, and they have to be at very specific places on earth. These are called the pillars. You know, that's what many people are calling them. I'm calling them power souls, and I'm one of them, as I was shown this. I'm not a gatekeeper, but there are many people who are also ascension guides who are gatekeepers. These people, as this woman was describing, they're holding the space for the gateway, and they're not deciding who's entering because, yeah, ascension is always a choice. And it's what you wish to bring through your experience, and then you amplify it. And a lot of the gatekeepers were what I was already writing about in my own articles 2 years ago, that the previous generation, which is not actually a previous generation, it's just another specific purpose. They were more opening these portals and assisting to activate these points, or they were traveling a lot on the world. In the world, they were going to certain sacred sites. They just felt guided to go there, and these are gatekeepers. The pillars, as I described in my previous video in the soul calling, I think it was called, are those who are just so guided to stay at the same certain place, and they just know they have a very specific purpose to sit there, and they themselves are serving as the vortex of light. They're not really moving their energy physically, but they're working globally and collectively with the just radiating out. They're just pure beings of radiation. They're just amplifying the energy, just putting out there, and they're attracting a lot of people into their reality. And that's what's happening in my purpose. And I wasn't even expecting this when I started my awakening and ascension journey. It just all started happening naturally. So we all have these specific tasks. But what I want to touch briefly upon this here is what actually in general is an ascension guide. I'll be taking some water because I have a feeling this will be a long video, and I just feel guided to, you know, bring it all up together so you can have a pack of information as you're going through your journey. So an ascension guide, basically, what I was shown through Spirit is a very simple thing. You cannot be an Ascension guide if you have not gone through Ascension before. And remember, this is not just localized, limited to Earth experience. Cosmos, the whole creation is very vast. And there's many, many, many beings who keep coming here, and they were taking care of the Earth. They were seeding the Earth. They were observing the Earth. They were watching the process. You have a lot of watchers, or just the caretakers, or whatever you wish to call it. But the general way I see now is very popular when people pop up and say, I'm an Ascension guide, I'm teaching others, and basically a true Ascension guide is not teaching anyone. They're a wayshower. They're only embodying everything. They're receiving higher guidance. They're downloading it. They're integrating it, and then they're radiating it out forward. They're not teaching anyone. It's not about business. It's not about, it's not about ego-driven. You are basically in service only to the spirit. There's a lot of those I notice who answer people's questions, even publicly. And again, this is more like guruism, It's like you refer to yourself as this person who has the answers for everybody, and then you present yourself on this pedestal, and even others then see you like this because you're presenting yourself this way. A true Ascension guide will be very humble. They will just be sharing freely through spirit what they receive, non-attached, not answering other people's questions, because then you're not assisting them anyway, because Ascension journey is an inner journey, you see. You will be guiding people towards within, the realms of within. You'll be, like masters say, you don't give an answer, you point the way, you direct them. You basically just show them the way. But yeah, Ascension is a choice. It is a very personal choice, and it's a very intimate choice as well. So there's a lot of people now who are referring themselves as these Ascension guides. And the only way I use this word is so people know that they can come to for this assistance, for maybe a slight push forward, or they can see, they can start opening up to this internally as well. And basically, for me, in my journey, I'm just guiding myself. Spirit is teaching my human self through divine remembrance. And basically, we're not helping each other this way on the highest note of knowing this. We're triggering each other's divine remembrance. And many of us are returning souls who are coming here to do exactly that, only by embodying the love that we are. So, yes, this is what I wanted to say about this. And you can also notice this in the energy of a being who is pronouncing themselves. There's nothing about labels, truly. But the only way to label yourself is what you're doing, how you can assist someone that they know they can come for assistance to you if they are so guided to by spirit, by their soul. And it's not about, a lot of people still come to me and ask me questions. And basically, I can just refer them. I can just, point towards the door. They have to walk through it themselves. And there is no knowing if it doesn't come internally. But also remember, the path of spirit is a very mysterious one. And it's a path of living this mystery, of not thinking you've come so far and now you know it. Now you know it all. It doesn't end there. We're an infinite expansion being, you see. So there's a lot that I could be talking about here, but it's not important. The reason why I wanted to bring this up, because a lot of you who might be watching my videos or just see this video are guided and are remembering that you're also an Ascension guide. But you're doing it in your own unique way, and it's up to you to remember what kind of energetic signature you hold. And remember that this being who is of assistance, who is of this continuous service to creation, is not about words. It's not about these labels, but it's the energy behind this person. It's about the messages that they're bringing. So when you're choosing someone that you feel maybe you need guidance of, because in the end, it's all about you. It comes down to you. But if at some point of journey, you're guided to meet up with this certain guide in your life, really sense them, feel through their vibration. It is about the energy blueprint behind them. It's about their dharma, which is natural. It just sinks through them. It expresses through them naturally. It's not something you proclaim or you say, I want to be this Ascension guide. And if you're not, you're just not, because spirit guidance came very, very simply through me. It's that those who are Ascension guides are those who have experienced it before. They have ascended before, maybe in another realm, but they are the ascending ones. They're the returning ones, because otherwise, the way of the new is showing through embodiment, is becoming this. It's not about speaking. It's not about this mental understanding and conceptualizing. The ascension process is a very natural one. It's a mechanical, but also very natural, organical process. And you need to have a deeper understanding of this process and the nature of the structure of a human beingness. and other realms to understand this, to show this to others. So if you're feeling called, if something inside of you is stirring up and you have this deeper and deeper remembrance, then it's going to come. Just don't resist it. Don't control it. Just allow yourself to experience this remembrance coming to you, returning to you, and really feeling that maybe you're also one of those who are here to guide others. And you're just remembering the process of it. You're remembering this experience, and then you're sharing it with others through the service that you're devoted to. It's always about devotion to service. Okay, so what I want to mention now, what I want to talk about now is this mini gateway we're going through now. You can call it May Gateway, Gateway of Love, Spring Gateway, Spring Cleansing, whatever it is. There's always an infinite continuation process that it's building up in energy. I remember in summer of 2011, I think in August, when it was Mary's Ascension Day on August 15th, I was writing about this. And the Divine Feminine aspect was sharing with me how the principles of creation work through this, a lot of time and effort and devotion being put in those things. And a lot of people, they think this ship needs to happen like this, like instantly, but it's building up, it's gradually building up. And we have these gateways, with every eclipse, with every equinox, with every solstice, with every such activation point, with every solar flaring that is, off the charts. They're not just regular solar flaring that is needed for maintaining of the Earth's atmosphere, but the flaring that is, just, you would say, off the charts, and it's triggering you, and it's triggering your bodies, and it's activating new levels of existence within you. And all these things are building up. All these things are gradually building up. That you're continuously building up on unveiling your personal vortex, who you truly are, who's your authentic blueprint, what's your authentic signature, and then living it, becoming it, really realizing it. So this gateway now is very potent, and it's kind of ending. It's not ending, but this, everything is a cycle within a cycle, and every cycle ends with the completion of this cycle. And this completion is now awaiting us on this 25th or 24th of May with the lunar eclipse in Sagittarius. And Sagittarius is the teacher, is the speaker, is the traveler, is the eternal expander. And this is my ascendant. This is my rising sun sign. And a lot of this, what this gateway is about, because there was so much solar activity and there was so much shadow work and there was so much layers being lifted off. It started with the equinox this year, and now it's again with this mini gateway. There's so much that is like this density that's lifting off, that our true bodies, our lighter bodies, are being activated. We have many bodies, We don't just have, like many New Agers say, okay, we have an astral body and it ends there. It's not this way. I want to talk a little bit about solar body and the spinal activation that is connected with this. This was always natural to me when I was tuning into that spirit light, the divine light. I had these electric shocks, like this tiny tingles, like pulsating movements in my spine, and they just go up and up, and they feel very intense. And whenever energy is intense, or I'm sitting maybe in nature and in mountains, and when this starts building up, I know that I'm sitting in this vortex spot, and then I'm being further and further activated. So what is a solar body? I wish to say, I'll try to do an automatic writing today. And, I like to share this guidance more with writing. It comes to me more like this. In videos, I just generalize these subjects. In writing, it is more in detail. So I wish to write about this, how solar body activation is happening through solar flares that are bursting up continuously. Because as you know, the sun has its solar body, and we also have our solar body, although we exist here in this level as human beings, and you just see this part of you, your physical body. We also have a solar body, and you could call this many things. You can call this light body. But what I said in this time now, solar body, is that you can see the reference, the connection with the solar flares and the sun's body. Because as everything is ascending, the sun is ascending, and with its energy, it's also moving and activating our own codes. So it's like pushing us. It's not pushing us, but it's activating what is natural to us anyway. So our solar body is now being activated. This is our light body that, remember, is non-sensitive to heat or cold or radiation or anything like that. It's like when you exist in your light body, you can exist on other realms. Remember when scientists say, oh, on this planet there is no life, but what they mean is there is no life as we know it here. They don't see it because it can exist. They say, oh, this atmosphere is too hot for life. Yes, for life in this form, but remember, Our form will always shift. We're a continuous expansion being. So solar body is being activated, and whenever there are these storms and thunders, remember, sometimes it used to be, for example, here where I live, remember the weather is changing completely because there's the shift happening. And it's not just the atmosphere, it's the entire energy field. And we're traveling through this photon belt that is activating every single thing in creation on this level of experience, where we are on Earth and beyond as well. So what's happening is, what I wanted to say is, we're moving through these photons. We're being intrinsically connected, as you know, influenced by this. So we are activating these higher and higher octaves of being, and the old is simply non-existent. So what is happening now is we're finding ourselves sometimes in the space where we don't really understand the old anymore because we're kind of not in part of it anymore. Also, we're not fully in the new yet. It's kind of, we're creating this bridge between the two. And we now still exist. I've been talking about this many times, you know, existing in these parallel realities. We're existing in these two worlds. Because why we need to, especially those of us who are in service, so we can assist those who are still coming, who keep coming in and choosing this path of ascension. And when this higher bodies are being activated, you will feel much and much more energy, or not the desire anymore to eat so much, to nourish yourself through food. And things just happening naturally. You know, so many people say, I want to become a breatharian. But this process, when your solar body is being activated, is already happening naturally. You don't need to push for it. You don't need to strive for it. It's just really happening organically, as it's meant to anyway. It's all you need to do is understand on a higher note what's happening to you. Don't be scared. Just allow the process and then surrender to it. And then ask yourself, what is ascension for me? What do I choose for myself? What do I choose to experience? And a part of our human experience won't always understand the solar body and the higher bodies and how we function within those realms. That is why we need to be open to everything. That is why we need to be continuously open to higher guidance so it can show us the way. Okay? But yeah, the spinal activation, this energy that pulsates through your spine is directly connected to this. It's directly connected to activating these higher bodies of light. Also, a lot more sense of magic and joy is coming now. And this is, you know, the way of the fifth dimension, of the higher dimensions, is the way of joy, the way of full heart openness, the way of full surrender, magic, you know, coexistence and unity consciousness. And that's why I keep saying lately that choose through joy and magic. Choose whatever you feel brings you bliss. The rest, pack it up and go, you know, just surrender it. And like I said, I still don't resonate when people say we're removing the dark. We're integrating it. Because divine love is all that is. It's not just saying it's just light or it's just dark or maybe 50-50. Unity consciousness is about integration of everything. So whoever is calling themselves this ascension guide, and then they're bringing you the information that something is being removed, or that we're just clearing it off, it's just not this way. You cannot become a master of self if you don't integrate all of it, because then you don't have the understanding. It doesn't come through awareness. It's through awareness, through love, divine love, that everything keeps being understood on higher and higher levels, and then you're moving higher on levels of your existence. So magic and joy, allow that to be your guide. Whatever doesn't bring you that, just allow yourself to release it. You know, don't feel guilty over it. Just, you know, every day when I wake up now, I say, oh, I wish, even if it's simple, I wish to see the magic in everything. And every day something happens that I recognize as magical. And then the more you're in that flow, the more it keeps coming, and the more experiences you will recognize as magical, because it's about you seeing it as it is. It can be there, but you're not going to see it. So what is it then helping you? It's not. So it's about us seeing this potential. It's about seeing these magical experiences and becoming them. Also, I wish to say this. It's very important to, you know, understand that divine love is neutrality. It's the balance of all. It's all that is. It's neither, like I said, light, dark, bad, good. It has no opposites. So the same way we're ascending, we're also descending. This is when you understand the law, the basic principles of polarity, you will understand that as much as there's light, there's darkness. So if you're constantly in that neutral space, in the neutral zone, there's neither. There's just all that is. There's the unity consciousness is there in the realms of one. And in this understanding, you will understand why certain things need to be embraced as they are and accepted as neutral. We still, in this human experience, call a lot of things bad or say that they're illusions. I have this friend, he said to me just yesterday, I read this, that money is an illusion and how can we serve if this is not this way, that they just wish to envision everything so perfect, and if it's not this way, why is it like this? Why is money like it is? Why is this limiting us? And I wrote a very profound writing about this today, and I'll try to find it and read it to all of you, because I think this is really important, because what we're doing, we're integrating all of this. We're becoming these grown-up, self-responsible co-creator beings, like mini gods and goddesses. And it's very, very important to understand that we cannot escape things. Escapism and saying this is bad, I don't wish to experience this reality, doesn't make you master it. Like I said, we're not removing things. We're learning how to cultivate our creative force, how to work with the creative energy of Source through us, and then be fully supported by this. Okay? So that is why I wrote, many are still living up there while not fully embracing the reality as it is now. Many call this escapism. This means that we're not yet bringing our spirit awareness into matter. This is not within divine love, for this creation love knows no opposites, as it simply just is. And we cannot create a new reality before we fully embrace the old one and make peace with it. So I ask you honestly, can we fall in love with life as it is right now? Yes, this means including all the denser aspects such as the system, money, and all the other limitations that you might call them. Yes, they will continue to exist as limitations until we fully embrace them. For this is what divine love truly means. And when we do, then we can create a new system, one that is based only by the principles of creation. Every cycle of experience ends with the full completion, and this is why this step is so important. So let us embrace this earthly plane and playground as it is and choose to be in it, but not of it. Don't escape it, for you are not really ascending if you're not descending at the same time as well. This process is a reciprocal one, and it truly is so. So it's really important to understand to trust this creation. Can we trust creation? Do we understand it in a deeper sense? Do we know that there's nothing that is not of this divine love? And I see a lot of people who are awakening so much to this love, and they're all about this unconditional love and joy and everything, which is a part of the experience. But another part is also this wisdom aspect, the discernment and the power. So we're also needing to empower ourselves. That means, like I said, you're not a master of the physical realm. You're not a master of Earth if you don't know how to cultivate this energy and all this that you're bringing through this higher awareness, and then use it for the greater good. For example, money is not always bad if you're using it to create something that will serve the whole, the greater whole. For example, there's a lot of things that are happening step by step. And there's a lot of people who are more a dreamer, more like a dreamer type. And now we're shifting from being a dreamer to, those who make things real. Those who bring and cultivate the source energy. That is what the divine child energy means. It means when the divine masculine and divine feminine are merged together, they create this third force, which is the divine child. This is the endless creativity. This is what actually shifts things. It's not about us pointing fingers and saying, this is an illusion, I don't like it. So if I don't like it, it's still there. It persists because you're resisting it. There is no unconditional love of this earthly plane when you still see things as bad and you say, okay, I don't like the way money is used. Well, then, use it your own way. Cultivate it, empower yourself, and then use it for a greater good, because that's how we're building the communities of the new and the new systems, because we're using this energy and what is known to us. We're using it. We're making it real. We're not just holding it in our space and saying that love, light, energy does everything. We are the ones who came to the physical. We have companions, divine companions on the other side. And just yesterday when I was walking in the woods, I felt this feeling how much they feel compassion for us because we decided to be on this level of the game. We chose to play this part. And they understand that it's not easy, but we know that we have chosen to be here on Earth. We have known before we came here. We decided for this. So if we just want to deny it or escape it or negate it, it doesn't help. It's just the darkness aspect that needs to be integrated. And then your wholeness, you see everything through whole. Because remember, you're not really a master of the self if you're not a self-responsible being. And until you will still exist on this vibration, until you will clothe yourself, until you will bathe yourself, until you will take care of yourself, until you will fed yourself, nourish yourself, you're still in the space where sometimes this requires energy exchange in the form of money. And if you're not responsible for yourself, you cannot take care of yourself, and you're not really empowering yourself, and you're saying, oh, but money's bad, I can exist this way. Then you live in here, and many people live in here. You know, you have to build up. For example, when I started with Ascension Pioneers, I didn't know it's going to lead me. I just kept building up, building up. It just kept building up, and more people were coming in, and more people. It's just a constant co-creation process of empowering yourself to empowering others, who are then also empowering themselves. But just staying in that shell and saying, it's I don't know how to use my cultivating energy. I'm just going to stay here because I don't like the system how it is, and I'll wait out. Maybe one day I'll create this vision of mine. But we are creating it also in the physical, you see. This is the beauty of it. Sometimes we don't yet see the dreams we envision. But we have to live for every step that we're making. And sometimes these steps might seem as very weird to us. Sometimes we, especially those who are not so used to being in physical bodies, they might seem as weird and they don't understand. Of course, I understand this aspect that we don't understand the concept of money. I don't either. But I need to embrace the earthly realm as it is because I embraced it before coming here. That's what unconditional love means. And beyond it, there's divine love. That means all just is, and it's perfect as it is. And if you don't have to be a part of it. You know, you don't become money by saying I'm supported financially when I'm doing my purpose, when I'm doing the tasks that I love, when I'm radiating out bliss. You're just being, you're being in the world, but you're not being of it. This is really important to understand, and it is a choice whether to cultivate this energy and then use it for the greater good of all, or then to just run and hide and say this is bad, and until this is so, you won't have this happiness. Because a lot of people do that. They wait for the conditions to be perfect. They wait for something to fall from the sky, but this is not really empowering. We're the ones who are bringing that forth through our very essence. This is the power, the drive that we have, the ability to create everything. And as long as you will still have, for example, this vision that money is bad, you will continue to exist on that timeline, and you won't be able to move further on your ascension timeline, because the ascension path is that of full acceptance of everything. It's making peace with all aspects. You know, even the place where I live now, I wasn't always in full acceptance of. I was saying, oh, it doesn't feed my vibration, it doesn't nourish my spirit. But then at the end, I needed to come into full acceptance of why I'm here on a higher note, have this higher understanding, and this is the compassion. This is the compassion component. And when you have this high understanding, you will be in peace with everything. And that's when dreams will start fully realizing, because when you drop the desire to be somewhere that you're not, you will start creating in every now moment, and this will bring you so much magic and bliss. You know, for example, when you do certain tasks every day, instead of saying, oh, I didn't do this today, I didn't do that today, oh gosh, I have so much to do, I'm so busy. Instead of that, feel what you have done today. Feel what does bring you magic. Feel what did bring you joy. Feel what uplifted you. Did it elevate you? Again, the same goes with seeking guidance out there somewhere. Be very discerning. Don't be careful, because the careful is the old energy. Being careful is coming from fear. Being observant, neutral, and discerning is of the new. It simply means seeing through the higher eyes, having the clarity for the higher vision, which comes from your expanded state, not your closed state when you're just closing yourself up to new experiences, new potential, and new growth. Of course, expansion that is infinite. So, again, ascension is a choice. Choose wisely, choose what feels good, choose what elevates you. Be in your space. Constantly feed your vibration in your personal vortex. And when something feels less than that, or something feels unfamiliar and unknown, look at out there, look at the weather. See, the weather is exactly as unpredictable as our lives right now. But what we're doing is a lot of people are preparing for this new. They're getting away through so much. I mean, they're getting rid of so much of the old. And even I was cleaning the basement and everything this weekend, which just felt so good after. I felt like this huge energy cloud was released. And more magic was felt right afterward. And it's like, you know, my friend said this good example. If something comes new in your life and you're not ready for it, you have full of attachments that are keeping you to this place. like bills and all these, restrictions and pets and family and everything, and you're saying, oh, I can't go, when the opportunity starts knocking at your door. That is why we're now being fully emptied out, and a lot of people are afraid because they're like, okay, what's left? But remember, what if the new life is all about just being prepared and prepared continuously, but the preparation is also part of the magical experience, not the goal. You see, every time the path of spirit is truly that of mystery. Once you think you know it all, or once you achieve the goal, okay, you're always feeling what's next. But imagine that every step can be magical. Everything can cultivate your joy. We are preparing, we're infinitely preparing. And that's the beauty of it. And the beauty of it is that we will never know it all because we continually experience something new. That is what Ascension is about. So my beloveds, until next time, I will talk to you soon. Take care of yourself, nourish yourself, and I love you all so much. Bye.